Hello, this is Jerry from National Georgia University's English Department, and today's topic is the Family Guardian Coalition, also known as Coalition for the Happiness of Our Next Generation. This coalition is founded in the year 2013 to advocate the idea of pro-family and family mainstreaming. So what about this group of people, and why are we specifically talking about them right now? Well, mainly is because recently people have been discussing about the relation between this association and the recent child abuse cases. Okay, now if you go on to TBS News, you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 child abuse newses in a single day. The thing is, although child abuse is a serious topic, it's not a recent topic. It's not only happening recently. It has always been there in our society. But when you have this specific group of people who says that they are pro-family and that they support the family mainstreaming idea, and they think that the government should really work on this idea, you think that they act upon hearing about child abuse. So when you first hear the name Coalition for the Happiness of Our Next Generation, you would think that they would be focusing on protecting the next generation and focusing on the family quality of our society. However, before the public called out Family Guardian Coalition for not caring about child abuse, which is supposed to be their main focus on things, this association was rather active in the public election on whether homosexual people should have the civil rights to get married and whether homosexuality should be taught in both elementary school and middle school. With these elections going on, the Family Guardian Association has been more active than ever. They even went on streets to protest, had speeches, and they even made a Facebook page and their own web page to promote family mainstreaming as their main idea. In a family mainstream country, the government and society has to appeal to the needs of families, which are stopping domestic abuse, better education on gender equality, morals, and sex, which said association agrees with, but they themselves haven't done anything to help the current situation. Now on Gender Competence Centrum, you can see that there's this article on family mainstreaming and the definition of it made by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. These are the steps to including family concerns into decision making. So if Family Guardian Coalition really promotes the idea of family mainstreaming, then they should be focusing on the topic of child abuse, or rather domestic abuse, more than they do on homosexuality. If they go so far as to went out on streets to protest against homosexuality, then they should put in 10 times the effort on stopping domestic abuse. They should be out on the streets to protest against government not giving enough resources for our educational system, thus making things like child abuse and domestic abuse constantly happen in our society. Now, you may argue that, this association lacks the resources to do such things. But apparently, in November 30th, 2013, there was this protest led by Family Guardian Coalition, which later had 150,000 people roughly join in the protest, which is enough people to protest against domestic abuse and the lack of family education in our society. 150,000 people is more than capable of carrying out events, giving speeches, having volunteers, or even just protest against domestic abuse. But as far as I know, this association doesn't act upon hearing about child abuse cases. And instead, they made a Facebook post, which is not really that effective in terms of social movement. So this is the Facebook post that I was referring to. Since this text is written in Chinese, I will summarize it for you. Basically, what they're saying is that domestic abuse happens because we lack family education, we lack parental education, we lack moral education. What's more, they even said that the government is paying too much attention to gender equality education. But when instead they should pay more attention to family education, while they themselves sit back and did nothing but criticize. So what they're saying in this post is that this situation is horrible. This is horrible. We lack parental education, we lack moral education, we lack this and we lack that, and the government should do something about it and people should learn. But we are unable to do any changes, even though we have done many protests. But this is horrible. Look at it. Not a problem, but look at it. No, this situation is also your responsibility the moment you picked Family Guardian Coalition as your association's title. In their Facebook page, when asked about what their core message is, they would reply with the link of this article. Now, this is the article that I was referring to. You can see that although this is what they use as a proper reference to their core message, it's not even on a proper web page. It's just an article written on Apple Daily, which is considered not a really reliable news site in our country, even though this is written by their chairman. Their core message is over here. I will mark that out for you. And again, because the text is written in Chinese, I will summarize it for you. The argument of their core message is that after the year 2005, gender equality and gender mainstreaming has been our governing rules. And while the idea of gender equality becomes more and more common, families face a new challenge, which is our low birth rate compared to our high divorce rate. So now you can see that this association has a really clear belief in what our society's current problem is. By the way, I don't think that when they included gender equality in their article before they addressed society's problems, they were referring to it as the core problem of society. They were just saying gender equality is the first step to a better society. But why would an association with such clear idea be criticized so much? Well, the main reason is that they are not acting upon hearing about society problems such as child abuse and domestic abuse. Now this over here, this is the pro-family group in Singapore, which is the Ministry of Social and Family Development. We don't need to look too much into what they are. We just need to take a look at what they have been doing. So you can see that there's this conference that took place in 2018, and there's this social and family research happened also in 2018. So they've been doing quite a lot compared to our pro-family group. So bottom line, the Family Guardian Coalition is not filled with stupid, delusional people who have no idea what they are doing as an association, but actually have intelligent people who are capable of noticing what the society's problem is and pointing it out, but not actually doing anything about it. Again, I'm not saying that Family Guardian Coalition was right on going against homosexuality. I'm just saying that when they don't act against child abuse through their actions, they deserve criticism. Anyway, that's all from me for now. We'll see you next time on Spark Show. Peace.